On Independence Day back in 2016, the NBA world gasped in horror as they realized the road to a championship would be blocked for the foreseeable future, and they were right. Kevin Durant had announced his decision to join the Golden State Warriors, and just like that, for 2 straight years, there was nothing nobody could do. The Warriors were just too dominant, and they cruise-controlled their way to 2 straight championships. Well, this season in the NBA, the Warriors are currently at a crossroad. Their younger players aren't developing as quickly as they'd like, and Joe Lacob and the rest of the front office has to make a decision soon on whether to continue trying to connect the 2 timelines or to go all in on Steph Curry and bring in some more championships while they can. Now, the NBA trade deadline is on Thursday, February 9th. The Warriors started off slow, but are starting to gain some traction, so although it's still too early to pull any big triggers, here are 5 trades that can easily make the Warriors once again the overwhelming favorites. We're going to start off first with a trade package between the Dubs and the Utah Jazz. Let's all be honest with each other. Although the Jazz got off to that hot start, they're not going to win the championship this year, and by the looks of it, they're already starting to slowly disappear out of the playoff picture. Their future still looks bright though because, well, they've got a ton of draft picks, and through a trade with the Warriors, they have an opportunity to add a few young lottery talents to their roster that could very well build with their future picks. In this trade scenario, the Warriors would give up James Wiseman and Jonathan Kuminga in exchange for Kelly Olynyk and Jared Vanderbilt. Now, from the Warriors' standpoint, it might hurt to give up 2 promising talents, but the thing is, Olynyk and Vanderbilt are versatile big players who could instantly fit in the Dub system. I mean, Olynyk is a stretch big that can hit long bombs as well as mid-range J's, and he's also got some nice soft touch around the rim. If the Dubs get on with this trade, they can easily put Olynyk in a pick and pop or a pick and roll situations with Steph and Clay, and what I like about him is that he's the quintessential team player who knows his role and plays his heart out every single night. He's currently averaging double figures in scoring per game, while shooting over 50% from the field and well over 40% from 3-point range. Meanwhile, Jared Vanderbilt is a 6'9" wing who can pretty much do it all on the court. He can guard multiple positions on defense, then on offense, he's constantly attacking aggressively and cutting hard to the rim. These 2 players, along with Jordan Poole, DiVincenzo, and Anthony Lamb, would give the Warriors a terrifying bench. And with their starters playing the way they're playing, the Warriors would mop up the competition like it ain't no thing. And I'm not even exaggerating. Alright guys, moving on here. For our next trade, we've got Bojan Bogdanovic and Isaiah Stewart for the Pistons in exchange for Wiseman, Kuminga, and Moody. Though the Warriors would have to essentially give up their entire promising young core of players, to get a player of Bogdanovic's caliber coming off the bench would be absolutely lethal. I mean, this dude is a straight-up scorer. He's been shooting at about 40% from 3-point range practically his whole career, and this season he's averaging 20 points a game on decent shooting efficiencies. With how the young guns are playing right now, shipping them from Bogdanovic with the Dubs' instant firepower on offense for the second unit, because this dude is legit. He's the best player currently for the Pistons, and standing at 6'7", he's versatile enough to fit in with practically any lineups. Isaiah Stewart, on the other hand, is averaging almost a double-double currently and would be a great backup center to Kevon Looney. He's young, he's tough, and along with Bogdanovic, Poole, DiVincenzo, and Lamb, the Warriors' second unit would be putting up buckets, which is what they desperately need at the moment. Anyway guys, off to our next trade, and for this one, we've got a pretty interesting deal in our hands that involves Miles Turner of the Indiana Pacers. Giving up Kuminga and Wiseman for a legit borderline all-star center like Miles Turner will definitely bolster the Dubs' second unit, and they definitely pile up more wins simply because this dude is not your ordinary big man. I mean, he's a stretch 5 who can do things like this. Turner. Sheesh, guys. So far for the season, the man is averaging nearly 20 points a ball game, collecting nearly 9 boards on decent efficiency from the floor. Should this trade happen, inserting Turner in the Dubs lineup would open up the paint for Wiggins or JP3 to attack, since he can spread the floor, and at the same time, they'll finally have a real post threat down low, which seems to have been missing the last couple of years. Then, to add to that, averaging almost 3 blocks a game, the addition of Turner will also help the Dubs to regain their defensive identity because, as we all know, they're near the bottom of the league currently when it comes to defense this season. Should both teams agree on this trade, the Dubs might just get their first ever two-way center in Turner, and this should spell trouble for the rest of the league if this trade really happens. Though Turner can fit quite well as a starter, I think he'll be a much better fit along with the bench guys like DiVincenzo, Anthony Lamb, Moody, and JP3. And before we even know it, we could have another variation of the death lineup. And the crazy thing is, Turner is still a young player that can grow with Wiggins and Poole. Anyways, on to the next trade, and since we talked about the center position, here's another big man that the Dubs could potentially acquire right before the trade deadline. With the way things are going on in La La Land right now, there's a solid chance that the Dubs could help the Lakers save their season by pulling a trade involving Anthony Davis. Now, this particular trade scenario hurts a lot because the Dubs would have to give away one of their big guns, and in all likelihood, it'll be Andrew Wiggins. And while I hate that idea, at the same time, they're going to get a player like AD in return. Compared to the Miles Turner trade, this is like 5 times greater because if AD can remain healthy, it's game over for the rest of the league. Though he started a bit flat this season, he's quickly regaining his old form as he's currently a double-double beast right now, averaging 26.3 points and 12.8 boards, and just recently, he's been tearing up the league, stringing together monster 30-point, 15-rebound games, and showing that he's not just back to being an all-star, but a superstar instead. If this trade happens, the Dubs are going to be virtually unstoppable because, see, you got the Splash Brothers killing it from the outside, then you'll have AD destroying you from the inside. He's also capable of creating his own shots, so if there's nothing good going on with their offense, then the Dubs can simply dump the ball into him and let him do his thing. Now on defense, the sheer size and length of Davis automatically gives the Dubs a steady and intimidating presence inside the lane. Then when the Warriors face off against other elite bigs like Giannis, Jokic, and Embiid, AD would make them work hard for every point, and this will prove to be crucial, especially in the playoffs. Sheesh, this would be an insane team to watch if this trade went through, but anyways. We're now down to one more last big trade, and this one is quite familiar to all of us. The trading assets are going to be the same for the Dubs with Wiggs, Wiseman, and Moody, but this time around, the Warriors are going all out to reacquire Kevin Durant. I know people are saying that KD would never come back, but I mean, let's be honest here, guys. Brooklyn is one more catastrophe away from Kevin Durant completely losing his mind. He's already requested a trade once, and although the drama with Simmons and Kyrie seems to have simmered down, the season is still young, and I wouldn't be surprised if something else hits the fan within the next month or two. And if the Nets have another huge meltdown of some sort, it's very well possible that KD will request another trade, pack his bags, and go elsewhere. And with that being said, the Warriors can slide right in and put up a decent package like the one I presented a while ago to land KD and run it back once again, playing in the Bay Area. Though KD had some issues against the Dubs in the past with Draymond, from an interview they did together a while back, it's clearly all water under the bridge. Then Steph himself said he'd be completely open with KD coming back and playing for the Warriors, and Draymond said the Warriors would just destroy everybody again if KD came back. And although Durant hasn't said anything himself, if the opportunity did arise and if the Nets implode again, I'm sure he'd be up to run things back with the Warriors and get yet another ring, and in the process, break the NBA again.